episode of Glamour and Glory, where I retell you a Bible story and I do my makeup. I practice my makeup at the same time. I am not a professional at makeup, so do not get your hopes up, okay? We're just having some fun, playing around. I might mess up and wash it off more times than not, but so far I've been on a roll, so let's hope we can keep it going, okay? My name is Sade. It's so great to be connecting with you and strengthening our spiritual relationship with God all at the same time. As always, remember to like and subscribe. Let me know what you think about this look in the comments. And yeah, I think that's it. I hope you really like this look. I am really having a lot of fun playing in makeup, and I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Later. Hey, okay, Glory Babes. Welcome back. So today we are getting into Genesis 19. There is a lot to unpack in this story. So it's only going to be Genesis 19, and then we'll move on to Genesis 20 in the next video. So in the last episode, Abraham had hosted the Lord and his angels on a rest stop on their way to destroy Sodom. And then they also confirmed to Sarah that she will indeed give birth to a baby boy around this time next year, even though she had laughed when they said it, you know. So the angels went ahead to Sodom to basically carry out God's plan. And they stopped by Lot's house. So Lot lets them in, he feeds them, and he gives them a place to relax for a bit. And then he offered them to stay for the night. And they're like, no, we're just going to stay in the square. And he heavily encourages them. He's like, no, stay here. And let me host you. Let me take care of you. So they stay, and while they're in the middle of their evening, at some point, the men of the town, young and old, all come banging on Lot's door. They're like, hey, we saw those guys you let in your house earlier. Where are they? Let them out so that we can have sex with them. Yes. It says that. It says so that we can have sex with them. But I'm assuming since they're angels, they're not going to be willingly having sex. So I'm assuming it's probably rape. But the Bible says give us the men so that we can have sex with them. And I mean So, I'm sure it wouldn't be voluntary. But then Lot says, no, he's guarding the door. He's like, these men have come into the protection of my home. Please don't do this. It's wicked. Don't, and they're like, get out our way. And he's like, hey, I have 2 virgin daughters. Do whatever you want with them, but don't touch these men. Now, I'm like, okay, because if that was my dad, I would be so mad. You wanted to host these people. You told them to come in, and now you want me and my sister to get to save these men, to please you, so that you don't go back on your word because you can't protect them like you thought. I would have so many choice words from my dad. Are you serious? But luckily the angels pull Lot back in the house, and they blind all the men outside so they can't find the door, open the door and get them, get the angels. And so the angels tell Lot, look, this place is wicked. It's a bad place, and we are going to destroy it. So you need to pack up your loved ones and getting on, because we're destroying this place ASAP. And Lot is like, oh my God, okay. So he runs and tells the 2 men who are his daughter's fiancés, he tells them we have to go. Angels are going to destroy the city. And they think he's joking. They think he's playing around. So they end up staying, and early in the morning, the angels are like, okay, the time is now, you have to come. And Lot kind of hesitates. So when the angels see that he's like hesitating, they're like, oh, no. So they pull Lot, like out of Sodom safely, and they tell him like, go, this is where you're gonna go, and don't look back. They tell him to go to like the mountains, but he's like, oh no, I'm old, I'm not gonna make it to the mountains, I will die if you want us to escape that far. Let us go to this small town, take up space there, and then you can destroy Sodom. Like, isn't this place small? Like, is it small enough? Is it small enough for your grace? Because why save me if you're gonna kill me, making me travel all the way to the mountain? And so the angels agreed to let Lot and his family go to that small town, and they tell them to not look back or they will surely be swept away. And maybe with all the commotion, or like she was missing something, longing for something, maybe her friends or the ones who were supposed to marry her daughters, maybe she's just worried, and she just happens to look back and she turns into a pillar of salt. Just a pile of salt right there. And then I'm like, can you imagine walking next to your loved one and they just poof, salt? Like, can you imagine? Like, and you can't even give it your full attention out of fear that if you stay looking at this too long, it now becomes behind you and you're going to turn into salt too. So you got to acknowledge it, but you have to process it and grieve while you're on the way to the destination. Like, you don't have no time to stop and cry about it. You got to cry on the way there. You just lost everything you had and your loved one. So, that sucks, and you just have to go to the future. You have to just keep on keeping on, and that's hard, but, what I was going to say about that as well is, you can't let that one person's choice, like to stay, or their choice to look back cost you your future and where you're going. You got to let go, even when, or especially when it hurts, so, when you love them, it could be hard. So, yeah. And so Lot and his daughters, they had to live firsthand through that with their mom's death, and Lot's wife and their mom. And yeah, I didn't go back to see if I could find her name, but I didn't see it anywhere. I feel like I would have written it down. But, so the next morning after God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, Abraham wakes up and he goes to that, that place at the edge of the mountain where he stood with God and the angels when they told him this. And sure enough, he saw that it was destroyed. But I'm guessing he knew Lot was safe, because it does say that God remembered him, in their conversation and stuff. So I'm assuming he knew that they were safe, which I don't know why Lot didn't move back in with Abraham. Like, why? I don't know. I guess that's because the angels told him to go a different way, but I would have been like, can I just go back to my uncle? Like, but, yeah, so anyways, they left, Lot's wife is now gone, and it's just him and his two daughters, and they moved to that small town. It's called Zoar, in case you're, you want to know. That's the town they left to when, God destroyed Sodom. So they ended up leaving that town, Zoar, because Lot was afraid, to stay there since he initially got the word to go to the mountains. So they ended up moving to the mountains and living in a cave. Okay. So, in this cave, this is where, oh my God, you guys, it kind of pains me to even talk about it, because I'm just like, I got so many questions. Okay. So in this cave, the oldest daughter tells the youngest daughter, because there's no men around to preserve their family line, that they each should sleep with their father and get pregnant so that they can have children to preserve their family line. And I'm like, now, it says they get him drunk. Like the first day, the girl, the older girl who came up with the plans, she gets him drunk on wine. He passes out and she sleeps with him. So she's losing her virginity to her dad and getting pregnant by her dad. And yeah, but that's what's happening. But my thing is, where'd you get the wine? You guys are living in a cave. So I know you're going back and forth to town somehow. Were there no men in town? Like, couldn't they just nurse their father, nurse Lot until he died, and then move to town and find husbands to preserve their family line? Like, yeah, I had so many questions. Or maybe it was because their mother died and she had not bore a son yet. I don't know, but it says that there are no men for us to have children with, not there are no women for our father to have children with. So I just was like, yeah, I don't know why, living in that cave, maybe she wasn't getting enough sun, so she wasn't thinking clearly. I digress. So she goes in, she sleeps with her father, and then she comes out and tells her sister the next day, I slept with dad last night. Tonight is your turn. And so that night, her little sister gets her dad drunk on wine too. And she sleeps with him as well. And she gets pregnant by him. And they both bear sons. Like, they both bear boys. Yeah, but I just want to know, like, why they couldn't just wait for their dad to die to go find husbands? Because, did they raise the two boys until the boys were old enough to start venturing out? Like, what about, food, traveling, wine, all that back and forth to town? I know, some lonely man would have been better than your dad, right? But yeah, like, you're raising two boys. One of them is the father of the Moabites, and the other one, the Ammonites. I think that's how you say it. Where did they find wives? Like, couldn't you find husbands the same way? Just so many questions. But, what did Lot say when he found out? He just, I don't know. So many questions. But that is the end of Genesis 19. I'm going to stop there because now in the next video, we're getting back into Sarai and Hagar. And, she's Sarah now. Sarah and Hagar. And, yeah. And then whatever comes after that, I guess. But, this was a doozy. This one was like, it was so cringy. Now, I've read this story before a few times, but this time it was really cringy. I was like, you know what? I don't even know, because I would have been the one. I would have been the sister talking some sense into the older one. Like, look, maybe we need some fresh air. Why don't you take yourself into town and see if you can find a husband? Like, I don't know. Anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this story. Thanks so much for coming and spending some time with me. And I cannot wait to see y'all in the next one. Remember to like and subscribe, okay? Bye.